Welcome to ZigWheels, and we are at the launch of Land Rover's new Discovery Sport. And I will just do a quick spin around of the car so you can have a look at it. In terms of dimensions, it's just a few millimeters longer than the Tata Harrier. Of course, the Harrier is based on the old platform from the Discovery Sport. It's also taller and wider than the current Harrier. It's just been launched. There's only the diesel variant that we have prices for. So that starts at 57.06 lakhs for the S variant. There's also an SE variant. In terms of power plants, there will be two 2-liter power plants, one diesel, one petrol. The diesel one makes 180 horsepower and 430 newton meters of torque. For the petrol, it's a 249 horsepower motor that makes 365 newton meters of torque. Runs on 18-inch alloys. Ground clearance is 212 millimeters. That's an international spec, so it's not a laden ground clearance, but that's fairly standard for an off-roader. In terms of wading ability, it's 600 mm. So that's somewhere near about halfway mark above the front wheel there. In terms of looks, it does look fairly similar to the outgoing variant. One of the big changes is, of course, the fog lights. As you can see, this new one, the fog lights are this sleek little unit down below. Earlier used to be combined with that air vent on the side over there. Also changed the headlights. They have now a dynamic turn indicator in them. Right now the turn indicator is not switched on. Also new is the grille, and of course the front bumper design has changed. The car you see in front of you is the R Design SE variant. That's the top of the line variant at the moment. And that's a closer look at those alloys. And that is the indicator that this is the R Design trim. At the rear, you also have a new bumper design, again with 4 exhaust vents. The exhaust is actually down underneath there. And you have new tail lights, which also have a dynamic function to them. Just have those switched on in a second, and I'll just show you what that looks like. Just give me a sec. And that's a look at that dynamic. This is the headlights. So they're all LED units. They also have adaptive high beam function. And now I'll quickly go back to the rear, and you can have a look at what those dynamic indicators on the rear look like. I'll give you a better look at the rear as well. That's what it looks on the outside. In terms of space on the inside, we'll take a look at the inside. There's someone in the car right now, but we'll take a look at the inside in just a second. In terms of space on the inside, it's a 5+2, so so it does have 7 seats, though the seats at the rear aren't very large, probably just best for kids and short distances. I'll show you that in just a second. And while we have someone in the rear, let me just show you what the boot looks like. So another change is now it gets a powered tailgate. Let me just get the camera to adjust. Yes. So this is what the rear seat looks like with the seats folded up. There's not very much luggage space. As you can see, there's just about enough space for a soft backpack in there. I'll pull both the seats up, and yeah, so just enough space for maybe just a couple of backpacks, not too much. When they do fold down, you get a bit more space, and so now you get much more space in the rear. About 580 liters is what Land Rover is telling us. They don't have an official figure of whether this is more or less than the outgoing variant, but what they are saying is that when you fold down the second row, you are getting now more space than the old car. And then of course, yes, that's the powered tailgate coming down there. And let's take a look on the inside. So now you get a new all digital driver's information display, which is configurable as well, and that's the new touch screen, the new AC controls. And what do we have here? Well, you now have a gear stock, so there's no more popping up of the drive wheel. That was the very dramatic start to your Land Rover, but now you have a gear stock. And I'll just show you a very cool function for how you can select the terrain modes. So as you can see, this is the these are the controls for the AC controls, but when you hit this button, this knob becomes your drive select mode, and that's really cool. And the same thing for the climate control for the passenger zone becomes the blower adjust knob. I just turn it back down. So while you may be missing the drama of that rising dial thingamajig that used to happen in the center here, and now you have a regular a gear lever for the automatic transmission, 9-speed automatic for both the diesel and petrol. Sorry, forgot to mention that earlier. So now there's less drama here, but this is quite nice. I do like this thing. Also, the other nice thing about the functions is that there's a combination of both touch and buttons as well, which is much nicer for controlling functions like AC, where you don't want to be taking your eyes off the road. The infotainment system though is an all digital display. There's no no buttons here. It's all touch functions, but you do have these nice shortcuts at the bottom. Very nice and crisp and clear, but as you can see, it's just a little bit on the laggy side as far as the functionality. So that as you can see, it is taking some time to scroll. Rest of the interior is very nice. Lots of nice materials, all soft touch, leather on this portion here, wood inserts and soft touch dash. There's Meridian sound system and memory function for both the driver and passenger seats. Just have a look at those seats, and also you have a panoramic, well, it's not exactly a sunroof because it doesn't open, but it's a panoramic glass roof. The shade though is electronically controlled, and let's look at that working. The other function that we've also seen on the Evoque is the rear view display. So that's actually the mirror, and when you flip it forward, you get a camera feed, and that's actually the view out the rear of the car. I'll show you where that camera is. It's actually on the shark fin mounted on the roof. Let's quickly hop into the rear and take a look at the space on offer there. So I'll just show you the rear first. That's on the inside. The seats do slide forward and back. I'll just put them into their rearmost position. So plenty of room here. Loads of leg room. There's a USB charger. Well, it's not actually a charger, it's for your entertainment system, but I guess you could charge something there. There's also a lot of charge options. Here, 2 AC controllers. Nice soft touch again on all the materials. Even this is soft, not hard plastic. There's more storage than the old outgoing Discovery Sport is what we're told. Flip down armrest, cup holders, a little bit more storage for a cell phone, and the split is a 60-40 split. That's what the front looks like. Again, a steering wheel has the new touch functionality. It is easy to use, but it's a little hard to get to learn the functionality of it. And just give me a second while I just get out of the car. And yes, now we're back on the outside, and I said I'll show you that. So that's the shark fin on top, and that's where the camera is for the inside rear view mirror. And let's just move back and give you another look of the car again. So yes, that's the new Discovery Sport. Again, like we said, it has been launched today. Prices are 57.06 and 60.89 lakhs. Again, only the diesel is on sale right now. The petrol will go on sale at a later date, and we'll have those prices for you as soon as they're out. And yes, of course, last thing to mention is, of course, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you know whenever we're putting out content. And thank you for spending time with us today on ZigWheels.com. That is the Discovery Sport, and this is me signing off. Bye.